Questions, please?
You lost an exhibition game before, Coach?
Yes, sir. In 1992, we lost Athletes in Action. Went to the Final Four.
Was that the team that had the 8 recruits, or was the one the year before that the one with 8 recruits?
That one had probably more than that. And I think we lost again in, I don't know when it was, but we lost twice to Athletes in Action. Or maybe we didn't lose, maybe we pulled one out we should have lost. But, yeah.
I'm guessing.
I didn't like that. I didn't like it much either then either.
I'm guessing that your chief complaint was defense, given the way you coached, the way you gave up a lot of change.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, Dave, they're hard to guard because you can't help, you can't help conventionally as much as, you know, they don't, because they only play one kind of post guy, and they spread you so much that you got to go so much further for help. But you have to fix that by ball pressure, where you don't let them stand around and look for guys. And we didn't have very good ball pressure in the first half. And you know, I told them we come in, we scored 29 points, and I told them at halftime, I mean, we've come in here many times, scored 29 points and felt okay because it was 29-26, and the difference is we were playing a ranked team that we gave up 26 points to and scored 29 rather than, you know, giving up 42. We just, you know, we didn't do a very good job of guarding it. We just don't play through things very well. You put us in the half court, we've done a much better job guarding them. But when they run up, our guys run up and down and they forget things, and we get it to 4, and we're going to run a deal. And I had Chuck and KJ together because those are the 2 guys that we got to throw the ball to, and somebody's got to throw it to them. You know, we couldn't get to them. 2 times in a row we turn it over. We come down 2 times and leave a guy who goes 6 for 7 from 3. Okay, and the first time I understand, you know, I don't really understand, but I tried to understand, and then so I told him don't ever leave him again, particularly with shot clock run down. He leaves him again. You know, so you go from 4 to 10, which backbreaking.
For some of those things, just things that freshmen have to see in games, no matter how much you practice it or work on it before it sinks in?
Well, you've heard me say for 4 years now, I mean, I think you got to be not the most intelligent person to have to lose to learn. I don't know why you can't win and learn. I don't know why you can't go to practice and learn. I mean, it obviously sinks in usually a little bit more, you know, when you lose. But why would you have to go through that? I mean, you would think intelligent people wouldn't do that. But we all do. But
That team back at Cincinnati, when you had all those new guys, did that team have further to come than this one? Is this team behind that one, or is it pretty much similar?
I had Van Exel and Blunt. I had 2 pros. I didn't see Van Exel out there today. But you know, Jack, I honestly, I can remember we probably could have, should have lost to Miami of Ohio early in the season, and we just kept throwing the ball to Herbert Jones. You know, and Herbert had been there a year, and those other guys, and they kept jamming it in. You know, jamming the defense tighter and tighter and tighter, and I had all those guys that ended up being really, really good players were afraid to make a shot.
Chuck said it was embarrassing. Is it embarrassing? Is that the right word? Or?
I don't know. I mean, I could use a couple other words to describe it, but I probably shouldn't in the family newspapers that you guys write for.
thank you.
Did any of the new guys do things that you liked tonight?
They don't do some, Jack, they just don't do enough, They're not as consistent enough. I thought, Jabari made some plays for us, but then, he gave up a bunch of big plays. Gary Brown made some plays for us, but he gave up a bunch of plays. Those two guys really probably were, of the freshmen, were, I would think, the best of the lot.
It seemed like when your offense played, with the most freedom or looseness was when you had 3 guards in there at the same time. Was that something that you wanted to look at, something you were expecting to get a look at tonight?
No, really, I don't know why we couldn't have played some high-low and threw it close and scored. And they help, but, when they help, your wing guys have to make a shot. So whoever we had on the wing, be it Gary or Jabari or Aaron or Tommy or Keaton, should have had opportunities. But the biggest problem is we don't pass the ball. We just don't pass the ball. And we've got 7 freshmen that are all used to the ball coming to them. We got a whole bunch of catchers. We just don't have any pitchers, And when the ball comes to catchers, it kind of stops there. And we've got a whole bunch of them. When they catch it, it just stops because that's what they're used to. That's the way it was in high school because they were the best player. Well, I'm not the best player anymore. And they've got to keep the ball moving. And they don't keep the ball moving. It's hard to run a motion off. That's when you don't move the ball.
What's the prognosis for Dennis?
I just didn't want him to, I didn't think it was worth him hurting it. It's a long year, and seeing those other guys really, I didn't think was a bad thing. So he should be good to go next Friday for sure.
You kind of like having a week in between your next game, or do you kind of like to get those guys out there to work on some of these things?
Oh, we are 8:30 in the morning. While you're sleeping, we'll be in there. I learned a long time ago, man, you can't trade them. I like trading some of them right now. That's why they have general managers in the NBA, because coaches want to trade them after every game they lost. I'd like to trade a couple of them right now, but, I guess you could waive them, but you can't pick anybody else up off the wire. So that don't help you any. So we've got to do a better job coaching them. I mean, it comes down to, I can sit here and make excuses and say we're too young and we can't win and we're rebuilding and all that other kind of stuff, Truth of the matter is, I got to do a better job coaching them.
Bob, regarding Dennis, because of their personnel, maybe they run him around, it's hard, but maybe he could have scored close for you, gotten points. Does he make much of a difference tonight, or is it hard to say?
Well, every time you lose, you'd have somebody don't play, you think they'd made a difference. It's like guys are always better after they're gone.
Yeah.
Guys that are sitting out are always better than guys that are playing. I don't know. He could have scored. He's going to score against just about anybody, I think. Now, how much his guy would have scored, I can't give you that answer.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
You know,